Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles. Saturday football's in the books. The Kansas City Chiefs clinch the AFC number 1 seed, and the Jacksonville Jaguars complete the craziest division comeback potentially in NFL history. You know, I was trying to go back. I searched craziest division comebacks in NFL history in Google. Nothing came up, but I was trying to go back to find, like, where has a team made this type of comeback into the playoffs with a division win? Because we've seen teams get super hot, just before Thanksgiving in December and grab one of those wild card spots. We see that every once in a while. The 05 Steelers come to mind, 07 Giants. There's been teams recently as well that, that happens. That happens. But to win the division when it was so out of anybody's minds. So what it was mid-November, like let's say the 17th, I believe, was the Titans-Packers game, that Thursday night football. The Titans were 7-3, having just beat the Packers. The Jaguars were 3-7, and they were on bye. They just crumbled to the Chiefs. And now here we are. The Jaguars are the AFC South champions. It's absolutely insane. There's not much to compare it to in terms of winning the division with this type of hot streak. I guess the closest that I could find, just scanning seasons on Pro Football Reference, was the 2002 New York Jets. The Herm Edwards, you play to win the game Jets. They started 2-5, and then they ended up 9-7 in this complicated, three-way tiebreakers with the Patriots and the Dolphins that the Jets ended up getting that 0-2 AFC East championship. One of the only AFC championships for 2 decades that wasn't won by Brady and Belichick. But we'll get to that game. That was one of 2 games on the ESPN doubleheader. The Chiefs walloped the Raiders, as they often do. I think Mahomes averages 30 points against the Raiders or something like that. It's crazy. I know myself and a lot of people, and Ryan Clark said this on ESPN, the next snap of football that we watch is going to be the scariest snap of football we've ever watched, because we ended Monday Night Football with Damar Hamlin not breathing. And it was just, I don't know. I wasn't feeling good about it. I wasn't feeling pumped up for football today until we got going. The tributes to Hamlin, the fact that he's, able to tweet, now he's doing okay. There's a long road ahead, as he said in the tweet, but, the prayer circles, the coat, it flashed to, Chiefs Raiders, or I think on that first drive, it flashes to Eric Bieniemy, and he's calling plays, and he's got a, love for number 3 for Damar Hamlin. So, you just kind of, okay, we can breathe a little bit. Football's going again. But this first game was just a slaughter. The Chiefs clinched the number 1 seed. They will get the bye week. They may not get home field advantage in the AFC title game if it's them and the Bills, because of the cancellation and the new rules that they voted on Friday. I don't know. We'll have to talk about that as we go through the playoffs, but it's going to be a fascinating reason for the Chiefs not to host a 5th AFC title game if they were to win their divisional game and Bills were to also be their opponent. That would just be crazy. But Kansas City, we'll see you in a couple weeks. The only thing to talk about is the history books, basically. Pat Mahomes, he gets to 5,000 yards. Well, actually, he had 5,048 yards coming into this game, which is good, because that means he became the 15th quarterback to throw for 5,000 yards in a season, and he did it last week within the 16-game schedule that everyone else on that list had. unlike Justin Herbert last year, who ended with 5,000 yards, but only got that because of the 17th game. Mahomes padded that from here. I think he, went up to number 4 all-time career single-season passing yards. That's what the 17th game does, right? He comes in and he's got 5,048 yards on the year. He's definitely going to win MVP. And this is just like bonus. It's all frosting for his, statistical resume. That first wheel route to Justin Watson, that, the backup tight end took up the sideline there for 67 yards. I think it was like the third play of the game. That took 2022 Pat Mahomes from the 13th best single season yards all time, which he would have had he only played 16 games, to the 9th best single season yards all time. Just that one play in a game that none of the rest of them got to play. ESPN doesn't care about this. I care about this. I care about this. This game didn't exist for 1984 Dan Marino. This game didn't exist for 2013 Drew Brees, 2012 Drew Brees, 2016 Drew Brees, since that's mostly who Mahomes is passing, different years of Drew Brees. I don't know. I spent too much time on that. Travis Kelce also had a historic season. He finishes with 1,338 receiving yards, 4th best all time for a tight end. He himself has the record in 2020. One less game, by the way. Actually, it's funny. Mahomes has the 4th most single season career yards for a quarterback of all time. It is not the most in the 17 game era. That award goes to Tom Brady last year. Tom Brady has the 3rd most yards all time and most in a 17 game era, which is only 2 years old. Same for Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce has the 4th most tight end yards in a season of all time, but it is the 2nd most in the 17 game era because Mark Andrews, Baltimore Ravens tight end, had more yards last year. So I know we're going to put all these historic headlines out there. The extra game means a lot. These are great seasons, but they're not the famous seasons. We're pretending that they are, but they're not the famous seasons. This wasn't 84 Marino. This is 86 Marino. Basically, Mahomes' MVP, 2nd MVP coming at you. So the next game was an actual playoff game. So let's talk about that. Jacksonville Jaguars versus Tennessee Titans. We talked about the comeback. The actual game, Trevor Lawrence, this should have been the coming out party. The Jaguars won, but the Trevor Lawrence of it all wasn't that great. He had the air ball on to Zay Jones, where he just one of the worst throws of the season, where he missed a wide open Zay Jones in the end zone for a crucial play too, because the Jaguars just could not get a hold of this game. The Titans were stopping them. The Titans were driving with Josh Dobbs, and the Jaguars really could have used that. Lawrence didn't look good. But the Titans offense was relatively toothless. Josh Dobbs played well, I thought. To me, Josh Dobbs actually showed that it probably kept himself as a backup going forward here. Because he played well. It's his 6th season. I know it's only his 2nd start. He made some good 3rd down plays. He made some good sideline throws. His touchdown to Ngakoue was a good throw. The Titans were up 10-0 at one point. These are just throws that Malik Willis couldn't make in college either, by the way. And Josh Dobbs could, and he kept them in this game. But ultimately, what changed wasn't Trevor Lawrence. And it really wasn't Josh Dobbs either. I don't blame Josh Dobbs. What happened in this game is the Jacksonville Jaguars pass rush took over. They absolutely took over. And they started creating havoc. And there was a couple interceptions. One interception was returned in a field goal range where Trevor Lawrence went 3 and out, and then they kicked a field goal. And then the other interception on a corner blitz that Josh Dobbs got the ball hit, and then that landed in the arms of a zone coverage defensive end, Josh Allen, out there, and he returned it for a touchdown. So the Jaguars defense did it all. In between there, Trevor Lawrence and the offense are just going, punting the ball back to the Titans over and over and over again. It was the Jaguars defense and that rush that won this game. And that is intriguing, because although I was posting on Twitter that this was because the game was devolving into punts, that whatever team wins this game, is going to be I'm going to hope for them to be eliminated from the playoffs quickly, because I don't want to see them, win a fluke game and then ruin one of our divisional or title games because they're just going to get blown out. But what I really, really, really am intrigued by is if this Jaguars defense can be that second half defense and Trevor Lawrence gets back on track. Because let's make no mistake about it. Why did this game even have playoff implications? It's because of Trevor Lawrence. He didn't play great today. Played okay, but not great. Certainly not good enough to win the game. The defense won the game. And Lawrence said that. Lawrence said the defense won the game. But the two things, the Jaguars pass rush and the swarming defense that they got at the end, Derrick Henry, irrelevant. Sure, get all your stats, Henry, whatever. You're irrelevant to winning games. I do not get the Derrick Henry this year. I've been talking about this all year long. Hand it off to him. Get him all the stats. It doesn't matter. It doesn't add to points. Doesn't add to wins. Joe Buck was talking about Derrick Henry, hand it off to him now, and then he'll wear down the defense. And Aikman, for the first announcer to acknowledge this, that's not really true this year. Henry is averaging less yards per carry in the fourth quarter than he is in the rest of the game. Who's wearing down who? The defense is wearing down Henry, not the other way around. Jaguars defense. If they can combine with some of the Trevor Lawrence that got them to this place in the first place, there's something. There's something there. I know the AFC is tough, but there's something there, just narratively. So that will be fun. I don't know who Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars will play. Maybe it will be the Chargers. Maybe it will be the Ravens. We shall see. But good Saturday night football. I thought it was both games were good. Good way to get our toe back in the water after what happened on Monday night. We will be back. Mukilteo Football Show will be back tomorrow night to talk the relevant games. No, we're not going to talk Texans Colts at all. We'll talk the relevant games and then give our first look at the playoff matchups. All right. Thank you all. Have a good Saturday night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.